Hi, everyone. Life Coach Carissa here. I'm back with you today to talk about a new topic. But first, I want to ask you, how are you all doing today? I hope that you are on the upside of this 50-50 human life we are living. But if for some reason today you feel like you are on the downside, please know that you are not alone. We are all navigating our own way through this life of ours, and it is full of ups and downs. I have really come to believe that our lives are actually meant to be one series of life challenges after another. Some are harder than others, and this is our life. Learning how to navigate, overcome, grow, and still find joy and peace in those small in between moments of our lives is what I believe that this is all about. My intention is to continuously bring you topics that will support you on your journey, helping you grow in your knowledge and understanding. And I just truly believe that together we can seek a life that is filled with as many of those moments of peace and contentment that we can possibly create, but finding acceptance in those moments when there are the ups and downs, right? So, I'm really looking forward to sharing this topic with you today because you may find that it's something you've not really heard much about or spent a lot of time focusing on. But I have to tell you that this concept has had such a huge presence in my life, and my learning and understanding this better has really been instrumental in my growth towards living a more peaceful and content life. It really can be something that undermines the quality of the life that we live. I know that's a big statement, but I will show you how that is true. Okay, so what is this topic? This is going to be all about having a scarcity mindset. I will explain what this is, the areas that it can show up in our lives, and the reasons why you would want to better understand where it's coming from so that you can learn how to manage it better. And lastly, I'm going to share some tips for cultivating the opposite of a scarcity mindset, which is an abundance mindset. Okay, so I want to start with the definition of scarcity. Scarcity means a shortage or lack of something. So, to take it a step further, having a scarcity mindset means that we have a pattern of thinking that really focuses on what you don't have and this underlying belief that you're never going to get or have the things that you want. So, did you feel anything when I said that? Did you have a thought about an area of your life where maybe you have thought or felt that way? If so, that's okay, because it would be quite normal to have fallen into a scarcity mindset or actively be in a scarcity mindset. It's not just you, we are all up against this. Our modern, fast paced world has made scarcity mindset even more common because social media constantly shows us the best parts of other people's lives, making us or opening up the opportunity for us to feel like we're always lacking something. Advertising bombards us with messages that we need to buy more stuff to be happy, creating this sense of never having enough. And the economic struggles and the high cost of living, that adds to this feeling of scarcity, as many people find it hard to save money or to even feel financially secure. The rapid spread of information and the pressure to keep up with trends, it makes us worry about missing out. And then we feel like we don't know enough. Job security. The rise of these temporary flexible jobs make financial stability feel unattainable for so many. And there's environmental issues, right, that make us feel like our resources are running out, which adds to our anxiety. Healthcare, education, the cost skyrocketing. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and stressed. And then add in all the digital distractions that eat up our time, we can feel like we're always behind. So, all of these factors and more make it hard to feel content with where we are and what we have. So, I wanted to share some of the most common areas where a scarcity mindset may be having a significant impact in your life. Finances, worrying about not having enough money, being overly cautious with spending, or feeling anxious about one's financial security or outlook. Health, concerns about not having enough time for self care or exercise, or fear that one's health is going to deteriorate. Worrying about what hasn't happened yet, what could happen with one's health. Time, feeling overwhelmed by this lack of time or struggling to balance all the responsibilities and priorities in one's life. Another big area, relationships, fearing that there won't be enough love or attention or support from others coming our way, which can lead to our feeling insecure or this clinginess, right? Career, worrying about not advancing professionally, missing out on opportunities, or just feeling inadequate compared to your peers. Another big area, self-worth, doubting one's own value or abilities and fearing that there's not going to be enough recognition or success to go around. There can be this scarce mindset of scarcity with creativity and opportunities, believing that there are like these limited opportunities or ideas, which can really stifle our own creativity and prevent us from even trying new things, right? We think everything's been tried. We think everything's been done. We think everybody's doing it better than we are. That's a slippery slope. And lastly, personal growth. Feeling like that there isn't enough time or resources to invest in your own development or learning a new skill. So, can you identify any specific situations where a scarcity mindset is showing up in your life? I don't believe that any of us would choose a scarcity mindset. It's more like this background noise in your mind that subtly influences your thoughts and your actions without you always being aware of it. It can really create this sense of constant lack or limitation, even in areas where abundance might actually exist. This mindset often emerges from this deep-seated fear and insecurity, and it can manifest as anxiety about money, time, health, relationships, right? It just distorts our perception, making us feel as though there are never enough resources or opportunities. And then that leads to these patterns of overcautiousness, stress, or even self-sabotage. So, recognizing and addressing this background noise can be a powerful step towards shifting towards a more abundant and empowered way of living. And so, recognizing where your scarcity mindset shows up can be the first step in addressing it. In my life, I was not aware of how this mindset was impacting me. It was not something I chose. It's like this background noise in my mind, this constant whisper that says, there's not enough. And for me, that mindset really showed up in various ways, mostly concerning money, health, and time is where I noticed it, right? So when it came to money, I've always felt this tight grip of scarcity, worrying about finances that become so overwhelming. It leads to this tunnel vision where all you can think about is what you lack. And this mindset doesn't just limit our financial decisions, it like seeps into every part of our life, which ultimately affects our mental health and overall well-being. Now, I have been able to trace back into my upbringing where this scarcity mindset regarding money originated from, which was so empowering for me to understand it. Scarcity also showed up in the way that I showed up for my loved ones, right? So with relationships, with my husband, I was constantly worrying about our future health and our time together, fearing that we won't have enough of either. And that fear created this stress and anxiety that really impacted our relationship. Similarly with my aging mom, I find myself worrying about how much time we have left together, which sometimes makes it hard for me to really be fully present and enjoy the moments that we actually do have. Again, subtle little whispers, right? I wasn't in tune to this before. And when it came to time for me, I often felt like time was just slipping through my fingers too quickly. And I was desperately wishing that it would slow down. And so that perception of time scarcity can seem harmless, but it was like more of this, it's more than just a fleeting concern, right? It deeply affected my ability to stay positive and present in the moment. This constant worry about not having enough time can lead to this sense of urgency and stress. And it really overshadows the enjoyment of being in the present. That focus on this time as a limited resource really created this backdrop of anxiety for me, making it harder for me to savor life's experiences. I found myself being caught in this cycle of longing for more time, which then undermined my ability to actually appreciate each moment. It's really fascinating, right? This feeling of lack prevents us from even recognizing what we do have, and we waste it. So I hope by sharing some areas where I have frequently encountered scarcity in my own life, it can help you identify where you might be experiencing similar patterns. Because, scarcity, it actually does something to our brains. It narrows our focus. It reduces our ability to solve problems, to reason logically, to make good decisions. It's like our brain is too busy worrying about what we don't have, leaving little room for it to focus on anything else. And this can even lower our IQ, making it harder to think clearly and act wisely. But don't fear, because I'm here to tell you there is hope. This is not all bad news. We can shift from that scarcity mindset to one of abundance. And so I'm just going to share 4 little tips of things that have helped me on my journey with this. Number 1 is to focus on what I have instead of fixating on what's missing. What my brain tells me about the story of what I'm missing, I take time to appreciate what I already possess. That shift in focus can really create a more positive outlook and help me see the opportunities ahead of me instead of obstacles, right? So, focusing on what I have in the way of financial security, focusing on what I have in the way of my relationships and the time that I have with these individuals, and focusing on how much time I may have in my life. How do I want to utilize it? Do I want to spend it worrying about how much time is left or focusing on what it is I want to create while I'm here living in the present? Number 2, surround yourself with positive people. The company you keep matters. Being around optimistic, forward thinking individuals can really influence your mindset and it can help you adopt a more abundant view of your life. I have made a point to incorporate in positive messages into my day, to not just spend a lot of time in mindless actions or spending place in areas where it is not really stimulating my brain towards a positive way of thinking, right? So surround yourself with positive people and positive messaging. It really will help your view. Number 3, I know this gets said so much, but practice gratitude. Start a gratitude journal. Just write down 5 things you're grateful for every day. That simple practice alone can improve your mental health and well being and shift you from a scarcity to an abundant mindset. This is part of my morning routines, right? It's just having a couple moments for gratitude. It really can reframe that autopilot way of thinking. And number 4, recognize the possibilities. Train your brain. It's like a muscle. We can train it. Train it to look for solutions and possibilities rather than only dwelling on the problems. We know your primitive brain likes to look out for problems to keep you safe, but you can train your brain to be more likely to look for these positives, right? Just that change alone in your perspective can open up these new paths and opportunities that maybe you aren't noticing currently. Now, managing a scarcity mindset, like I just shared some tips, it really does mean taking practical steps too, right? We can't just wish things for the better. We have to take some small actions that will move us towards a likelihood of abundance. And some of those tips I just mentioned are actions that you can take to move you towards it. But, think bigger than that, right? If money is where you're worried about, how can you take some steps to put you in a place of practical, um, guidance, right? Like finances, automate your bill payments, track them on a calendar, have a budget, get a 401k or an investment account, right? So that you are planning on saving money effortlessly. If you're worried about that stress and overwhelm, allow time for work and rest. Make sure you have breaks, make sure you get enough sleep. Getting enough rest can really enhance your performance and your ability to think clearly about scarcity in your life. Exercise. Exercise with a friend, hire a trainer, stay committed to living a healthy lifestyle, which is going to reduce your stress. If you're worried about health, think about your food, plan your meals, make weekly grocery trips with a plan of what you're going to make. Avoid those impulsive, unhealthy eating habits. If you're feeling scarce about relationships, schedule regular family activities, right? To ensure that quality time together. Maybe it's a date night with your partner or your spouse. Maybe it's planning an activity with one of your children or all your children together, right? And if you're worried about your own relationship with yourself and that scarcity of time and what you have left to contribute, dedicate a few hours each week to yourself to where you can relax and recharge. I have a morning routine. It's set to fulfill me for what I need to get through each and every day, right? Not that I'm happy all the time, that I am ready and prepared when things do come my way that are challenging, right? So carve out what that would look like for you and just make it a non negotiable. It is part of your routine. Because, shifting from this scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset is a journey. It's about making these small, consistent changes that collectively make a big difference in your life. I have seen this transformation in my own life, and I know you can too, but I didn't do it all overnight. It was little by little, changing small little things each day, building new habits, building new muscles, training my brain to reframe and see things differently. Because the scarcity mindset is a real struggle. I'm telling you, I have had this, but you don't have to be stuck in it. By shifting your perspective, practicing gratitude, and taking action, you can cultivate a more abundant mindset. And I hope this information that you've heard today inspires you to look at where a scarcity mindset is sneakily showing up in your life, and that you will now feel some empowerment to recognize it and transform it. That's what I want for you. Recognize your scarcity mindset and decide what small actions you can take today to move towards abundance. All right, everyone, that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, would you please click that thumbs up button? You can also subscribe to my channel by clicking that subscribe button, which just means that you'll be alerted every time I release a new video. And you could also share this video with your friends if you think that this topic could be helpful for someone you know and love or care about. And lastly, if you're interested in the support that I offer, I encourage you to visit my website, lifecoachingwithcarissa.com. You'll find available times on there where you can schedule a complimentary session to chat with me. It's where I just meet you where you are and I can address any questions or fears or apprehensions or doubt that you may have of what a coach working with you can bring into your life. It happened for me. It's happening for others that I'm working with. And I would love to work with you to show you what is possible to create in your life a life of abundance and not a life of scarcity. All right, everyone. Thank you for spending time with me today because you could spend your time in a lot of different ways, but you're choosing to watch this video to improve yourself, to grow personally, professionally. And I think that's amazing. So good job. Thank you for joining me. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you in a couple weeks.